it's Friday, I'm Shagufta and you're watching Seriously Planning. So today I wanted to do a Friday Reads video about a book I just read called The Hand That First Held Mine by Maggie O'Farrell. Maggie O'Farrell is one of my favorite authors. She is the master of creating environments that you just fall into. You fall in love with the characters, you forget exactly where you are, whether you're on a bus, whether you're on a beach. The environment that you're actually in sort of falls away and you're just in the world that she's created for you. Her characters are people that are full-fleshed, that are real, that are complicated, that are flawed, that are so many different things. And I think that's where she shines, in creating these worlds and these characters that you just connect with and find difficult to forget. This book is lush, it's three-dimensional, it's complicated, and it's just stunning. This book follows two sets of characters. One, I'd say the protagonist of the novel, her name is Lexi, and we meet her first in 1950s Devon when she's thinking about how she just really needs to leave Devon, go to London, start her life, and she's just finished university and she's 21 years old. And she's sitting in her garden, she meets this man whose car is broken down, and his name is Innes Kent. And he's 34, he's from London, he's a magazine editor, and he sees her and says, "You must have lunch with me when you come to town." And she runs away from home and she looks him up, and their lives connect and they transform each other in ways that both of them don't quite expect. And the book is about how their lives come together, but also how they're people individually in and of themselves. And this for me was one of the lessons of the novel. Who are you as in the partnership that you're a part of, but also who are you independently? And how does that essence stay with you before you're in partnership, while you're in partnership, and afterwards as well. So that's one set of characters. The second set of characters is named Elena and Ted. They're sort of in present day. Elena just had a baby. It was an awful C-section. She nearly died after 3-4 days of childbirth. And when we meet her, she doesn't actually remember giving birth, and she's suffered from a lot of blood loss. She's very weak, and she's just trying to figure out what happened. And Ted is, meanwhile, going through the process of recovering from the fact that he almost lost his partner. And so both of them are kind of trying to find their way back to each other, and their way back to themselves as well. And so when you first start the book, you're not really sure, well, how are these two characters connected? And that, over the course of the novel, sort of unfolds, and we figure out why we were being presented with these two sets of characters and what they mean to each other. The book it's hard to describe actually what it is, except to say that it's beautiful, it's hopeful, it's incredibly sad, and it's one that I don't know if I'm going to forget for a while. I finished it last night, and I had that feeling, you may have had this feeling before, where you sort of don't know what to do with yourself after you finish a book. You feel kind of lost, you feel uncertain what's really happened, you've gone through this huge emotional journey, but you don't know exactly what to do with yourself, or how to process it, or who to talk to about it, because really it's just been you reading a book. But at the same time, it hasn't been you just reading a book, it's been you going through different decades, it's been you going through different locations, it's been you going through so many different things. And so I had that feeling last night. I'm just trying to unpack myself, like, whoa, what was this book? What does it mean to me? And I've been thinking about it all day, and I think one of the big takeaways for me from this book, without really delving into spoilers, because I don't want to do that, it made me think about the fragility of relationships, that any relationship in our life, of mother and child, of father and child, of parents together, of people in partnership together, of us with friends, all those relationships are so tenuous. They may be connected by blood, they may not be connected by blood, but we really have no idea how much time we have with the people in our lives. And so what does that mean of how we conduct ourselves in those relationships? What is it that we're saying to each other on a day-to-day basis? How do we take each other for granted? How do we not take each other for granted? How do we hold on to the memories that we have of one another when we're not together? All those questions that I started to think about in terms of moments only have significance in hindsight. And so how do we every day cherish and honor the people in our lives in ways that are meaningful and not dramatic either? But how do we bring our best selves to ourselves and also to those that we are in contact and in connection with as well? So this is the book, The Hand That First Held Mine. I'm still processing, still thinking about it, but this is my Friday Reads.